Hi. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Y'all, welcome. Welcome to the reunion. The we have 8 of 13 currently in a Discord chat all together. We are all gonna chat. We're gonna spill the tea. We're gonna get into it from this season, and I'm very excited because this, for one thing, we have more. We have Okabe coming in. Yeah. By the way, if you are a member of the cast, come to the Discord. Join the join the chat. I think we might have a couple other people popping in. This is live. Yes, this is live. The full disclosure, the end of the episode was recorded yesterday. Kuri, unfortunately, will not be joining us tonight because some flights of hers, unfortunately, got fucked up. Cast not even VC. Most cast is in VC. Most of the cast, I would say. 9 of 13. But yeah, so Kuri unfortunately cannot be here. But yeah. So, by the way, for the first hour or so, I'm gonna be kind of leading the discussion. We're gonna all kind of chat together. Everyone's gonna chat. Everyone, by the way, not even just jury, will be there. So we're gonna kind of chat all together, and then we're gonna pop in, and we're gonna have for the last half hour, or maybe earlier, depending on what happens, how the discussion goes. We are going to go to the audience for some, questions and things like that. And you guys can then ask questions of the cast. I might still take questions from y'all in the chat, but we are going to have a perfect Q&A. Is everybody in chat answering my question? No, it will be the cast will be answering your question. I mean, they can ask too, but yeah. So we'll do that early. So, everyone, let me start music so it's not super awkward and quiet, and then we're gonna switch over there and we're gonna get to the thing. But also, I just want to say, love you all. Also, we still have more than enough time to contribute to the Last Crosser Standing charity pool. We have reached our goal, so we are going to be giving the full prize amount, but anything extra over that is all going to go to our winners charity, Chorus Charity. And if we reach double the goal, everyone's prize money is going to be doubled. So we're going to give double the amount to everyone. So, but I would definitely love for y'all to, keep contributing. It's all going to charity, so it's all going to be a good cause. There's never a cap, I think, on knowing from working in a nonprofit, there's never a cap. Also, full disclosure, I've had a glass of wine, so I'm a little loosey and I'm a little goosey. Yeah, donate if you can. If you cannot, I don't. Kuri, wow, the pound is already back over the dollar. $10 is worth 12. Damn. Anyways, thank you. I love y'all. Okay, let's go and let's bring in our cast. So, let me unmute. Hi, everyone. How? This is so fun. How are you guys doing? Will the cast listen? That's actually a great thing. So I think because we're still on the topic of we can't hear them. Great. I love to see that. Oh, why is this doing this?
I think they're just saying the audio is too low for us.
Okay, can y'all hear them now? The audio wasn't too low. It was you were hearing echoes. There we go. Okay, there they are. Oh. So, since we're talking about charities, let's do this. Does everyone want to go? We'll go in alphabetical order, which you can see on screen, and just say really quickly what their charity is and why. Maybe a little quick thing about why you picked it, and yeah. So Argo, let's start with you.
My charity was the variety of the children's charity. they're a national charity in the United States. They give they build disability bikes for children that need them. They specialize with whatever the needs of the child is with special needs. And it's a charity that I've been working with for the last 10 years. And it is surprising how it warms your heart when you see a child get it and they were able to be mobile for the first time. And it is an awesome experience. So that's the charity I went with.
Love that. Thanks, Argo. Asia.
Hey, so I chose the Children's Health Fund, and I chose it. I work with kids actually, so I wanted to choose a charity working with children. So yeah, that's why I chose that one.
Love it. Blaine.
I went with No Kid Hungry, which is like 1 in 6 kids are at risk of hunger. So $50 is like 500 meals for them. I've worked with them before in another charity event, so that's why I went with that.
Love it.
Yeah, turn me up, EJ.
I'm just kidding. Chewy, go ahead.
Who'd you say?
You.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I went with Define American, and they are a charity that is trying to create media that really changes the conversation around immigrants in America and immigration stories and that sort of thing. My parents immigrated here from Mexico, so I related to that, and I'm very aware of how that can be viewed in this country and to some people. So yeah, I like what they're doing. They're just changing how people view immigrants, and I think that's important.
Love that. Thanks, Chewy. Corey.
Hi.
Hi.
My charity is it was the Lifelong AIDS Alliance. It's a Washington-based organization that provides resources such as housing and food support for individuals with HIV, and it also provides free testing within the Seattle metro area.
Love that. Cora.
My charity was Make-A-Wish New Hampshire because, well, for those of you who don't know, Make-A-Wish tries to make terminal illness kids have their dreams come true, and they've helped my family out in the past, so I wanted to give a little bit back.
Love that. Salem.
I chose the Trevor Project, which helps provide crisis and mental health services to LGBTQ plus youth. I focus a lot on LGBTQ plus themes in my videos, so I wanted to kind of give back to all the lovely people who supported me with that.
Love that. Nora.
Mine was Dysautonomia International. They're a nonprofit that does a lot of advocacy and fundraising for research for autonomic nervous system disorders. So things like POTS, you might have heard more about it after COVID. But yeah, I think it's really important that people learn about it, and that's why I picked it.
Love that. And last but certainly not least, Okabe.
Oh, thank you. So my charity was Autism REC. Basically, it just helps families with children who are on the autism spectrum with support, with whatever skills they need. I am, as y'all may have heard in this final episode, I was in university while filming this, and I just graduated from my psychology degree. So this is very thank you.
Yay,
so this is a very important topic for me myself being on the spectrum, and yeah, that's why I decided to pick this charity.
Love that. That was lovely. I loved hearing everyone's reasoning because I think that was something that we, and by we I mean like you and I, like we just never got to talk about like exactly why these charities were picked. It was more just me being like, what charity? Tell me, please, now. So that was really lovely to hear, and I think I learned some during that too. So, basically this is very like speak when the spirit moves you. I want to make sure that we're hearing from everyone, so I might start calling out specific people. Is this gonna be uploaded to YouTube? It is. Yeah. It's live. This is live. This is live, y'all. We're live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay. So the first thing I want to know
ears.
is what's up?
To my ears.
Oh, you'll get over it. Also, who are you? You were cussing up a storm in your confessionals.
I would never cuss, CJ.
Oh my god. And now you all see what I had to put up with for 2 days. Okay.
That was a rough weekend, okay? Can I just say, I ate like trash that whole time. And like Monday morning, it was rough.
Okay,
I'm
Nora,
an adult.
You are a genius, because truly the first question I wanted to ask was, so what was it actually like playing the game of Last Crosser Standing over 2 days? Because usually we do it, for those who don't know, we do it in basically like 4 hours on live stream. But this was like such a bigger time commitment for everyone, I think, including me.
You're like a drill instructor.
Yeah, I want to know what you guys, like, what was the experience of actually playing this longer form game?
Well, I've played both, like the previous format and then obviously this. So I've done the 4-hour live stream, and it's fun. It's still, but it was very different doing this weekend extravaganza, especially since we did it over the weekend. I worked Saturday morning, and so I did that, and then we played for whatever 8 hours or however long we did it, and then the next day just did it again. Let me tell you, I drank an embarrassing amount of soda and an unfortunate amount of chips, and I'm sure you heard all of that while you edited this together.
That's awesome.
But it was really fun. I mean, I really liked, chatting with everyone. I think it was really well coordinated, and so well planned. Like the whole packet that you gave us with all the info and everything. It was just, you put in so much effort, EJ, like hot dog. And it paid off. Like, this has been awesome watching the whole season. And I mean, I don't want to tell you to do more work, but please keep doing this.
We'll get to that. The packet was 10 pages, by the way. The packet was
10 pages double-sided.
No, it wasn't. Shut up. It was single space, though. But anyways, others, specific, Argo, Asia, Blaine, Salem, I want to hear from you guys too, because you guys are the newbie. And Okabe, sorry, Okabe. You
You
just seem like a returner, I guess. I don't know. But what about for you guys?
I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I had a lot of fun. I just love how you can, thinking back on it, you can tell where, I don't know if EJ thought, man, this is going to take 24 hours, because the first 2 or 3 challenges was probably about 5 hours. And it was all of a sudden EJ just cracked the whip and was like, go, go, go. So it was great. I absolutely loved it. I would do this again in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Good to hear.
I feel like I kind of took a while to get used to it a little bit. So that's kind of one of my regrets, I think, is it took me a little bit to get get the flow of it. And I feel like right when I did, I started to be okay, now we need to start making some more strategic moves kind of thing, rather than, I noticed everybody was trying to be friends, and I was like, this is supposed to be kind of cutthroat. We need to be, throwing some names around and this kind of thing. And no one wanted to say anything. So I think towards the end, before I got kicked off, that's when I really started to feel more comfortable. So that's when it started to get fun.
Well, so one thing I would love to hit on is because a lot of the returning players, and I think Cora, you I think specifically said this in a confessional that I don't know if it made the cut, but that it's a very different kind of deliberation environment, because in the live version you're doing all text and it's all just typing to each other, but this is everyone can see who each other's talking to. So did you guys notice your strategy kind of changing to that?
Absolutely. It's so easy to lie over text in those short 3-4 hour streams.
Seemed like it was easy for you to lie regardless, Cora.
Yeah, okay. 3 months of this and it hasn't stopped.
Really saying what I was thinking?
Anyway. I like this format better because kind of what Blaine said, it takes you a minute to get used to it. So having like multiple hours of sitting there and talking to these people that you've probably never talked to before, it helps to get used to it more. So I like this, even though it took up an entire weekend. But I loved hanging out with all of you,
It's the best
including
weekend
Blaine.
ever.
I would like to say time well spent, hopefully, but I would hope at least, you know.
Yeah, this
Oh,
was
yeah.
a lot of fun.
This is
Oh, I
The
loved
payoff
it.
was incredible. Seeing the episodes come together with all the editing, I'm like, I would put in double the hours of recording just to see that more of that because your editing was fantastic.
I'm sure
The
EJ would
episodes-
be thrilled with double the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly, yeah. So actually, Corey, that's basically the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was like, what was it like to actually see yourselves on a reality television show, essentially?
I do want to speak on that because like I feel like I was such an outsider in this because I don't have any kind of like online presence compared to a lot of the other players. I don't have a YouTube. I'm not trying to be an Animal Crossing
Right.
influencer. But it was
Is that what we are?
y'all have friends in the community. You guys are way involved. I didn't know anyone. I felt like a weirdo. And so I had a lot of fun seeing the editing come out and kind of how my persona was presented with the editing. And like I was like, ooh, is this my villain arc? I'm loving it. It was a lot of fun to see happen.
No, I feel the same because I came into the game and I didn't know anyone either. I kind of knew Michelle, but I was like, this is gonna be very interesting. What happens? I was really expecting just to be voted off first because I just assumed that everyone knew each other. I was like, okay, I'm like the odd man out because I like Corey said, I'm not really an Animal Crossing streamer or anything like that. And but yeah, either way, it was a lot of fun.
I love
Still a
listening
streamer,
to
though.
myself
By the
talk,
way,
so
everyone
I
go
could
follow
listen to it all
Oakley.
day.
It's kind of my voice. Are you
What?
kidding? No, it's like nails on a chalkboard watching the episodes for me.
Same. Every time I speak,
Not
I
at
have
all.
to mute myself. I'm like, okay, I know what I said. I don't need to hear myself.
That's so funny.
You all have lovely voices.
Aw.
No,
It was-
you.
No,
I had to-
you.
You
Well,
do.
after having to
No, you.
listen to you all for like 3 months,
I'm so sorry you had to do that.
Every day.
every day. Truly, you were constantly in my ears. So
Oh.
I'm like, I wrote down questions on my iPad. I'm trying to be very organized. You know,
That was always great.
Wow.
Every time you come into stream and you'd be like, "Hey, I feel like we've been hanging out because you've been listening to us all day."
Blaine, I have to say your voice is great. Every time I heard you, it's like you have like a very like calming.
Blaine's voice is
Smooth
great.
like
Oh my
butter.
gosh.
Like
Oh,
ASMR.
Thank you.
Blaine.
You
Oh
should hear him
my
sing.
god! All right, see you guys.
not the collective
Blaine,
thirsting
thank
over
you.
Blaine's voice in chat right now.
Hello, Blaine.
I don't know. No, I
I
don't
can't
know what to
believe
say.
it's not butter. It's Blaine.
By the way, she has called your voice margarine. Okay.
Oh
Hey.
damn!
Hey, margarine has its uses, okay?
That's true.
I don't have any in my fridge, but I will say, like, there are recipes that call for margarine, and when it is needed, it does its job.
All
Fun
right.
fact, I actually
I'll take
grew
it.
up with margarine. I never had real butter. I don't know why. My parents were just like,
So that's
kind
why
of
you
pu-
picked Blaine.
exactly. I said, the voice
Disconnecting
makes
so
me
many
feel like
dots.
I'm home.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Asia, I want to know, well, Asia and Salem, actually, because I feel like you guys, well, y'all were only there for the first day, right? Unfortunately, and it was a tragedy to everyone, honestly, that we didn't get more Salem and Asia in our lives. But I want to know what it was like for you guys, because you were in the first half of the game and then you were out, and so like watching this, like, was it all new? Was it like, what was the feeling of watching the game play out?
Honestly, I was so curious the whole time. I was like, I want to know what happened. So like every week I was like on the edge of my seat. Like I wanted to see how it all unfolded. So it was really fun to watch, especially like the episode right after I got voted off, just to see how everyone was talking about it. It was really, really fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
Absolutely. I Okay, I'm still bitter. I'm going to say that first of all. Second of all, it was great to watch from the sidelines, honestly. I had like such a fun time. It felt like I got to see a little bit of the inside, like inner workings, but I was also one of the old like men Muppets that watch in the corner making jokes at people and getting to talk to like the mods and stuff while everything was unfolding. That was great. That was so much fun.
I love that. I that was a fun thing to observe as well. Salem in their voting channel being like, "Hi, mods."
Yes, I was surprised that I was allowed to talk. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk shit. This is my chance."
I did not expect a Statler reference in here. That's the name of the old man Muppet.
Listen, expect the unexpected, bestie. Well, that's not this show, but it's a Big Brother joke. Okay, no one got that. Anyways,
look, you are right down my alley there. I will say, Asia, big fan. Really glad you were part of this. Really sad we didn't get to play together, but I did yell at Kuri for letting you get voted out. So I got your
Thank
back.
you.
Don't yell at Kuri. She tried her damnedest.
She did.
You know who you should be yelling at? The person next to Asia, Argo, and Blaine.
True. True. He betrayed.
And Okabe, I see you too.
I think Chewy's paid me back plenty.
I got all of them eventually. Just backfired a little bit.
So, okay. Also, love that y'all are like helping me very easily transition between questions. Love this. Because as Asia was saying, like it's like seeing the things that went on that you weren't aware of. What was something that you guys saw that you weren't aware of, like when you were playing, that like really surprised you, if there was anything?
That EJ was friends with Kuri the whole time in my alliance and let me talk about voting her out so many times. He's like, no, I just don't think that's the right choice right now. Not, I'm friends with her.
I mean, but it would have been bad for me and Kuri to say anything about that. We would have been targeted so quickly.
That got out so early in the recordings and your confessions. You're like, yeah, my good friend Kuri. I'm like, what? This is not going to go well.
It was just really fun to like see the other side.
I was gonna say it surprised me that after the merge, I was mentioned like every episode of people wanting to vote me out. Obviously, I had no idea of that at all.
Because you told me how strong I was.
Well,
and
I wanted to make
I was like, Argo's gonna go.
I know you mentioned it a few times. I told Blaine and Okabe when we merged, I wanted to try to get an alliance or to try to work with you, and so that's what I was trying to do. But then you literally gave me zero information, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave. But that's the conversation. I was like, I think she started working with other people. So
I think I was probably like most surprised with how little everyone was willing to give up any information. I guess that should have made me feel more like an outsider than anything. But it seemed like the only people that were willing to actually give up names were like people that I started with, like Okabe or Argo. When like towards the end, it was like I would be in a room with like Michelle. I can't remember everybody I was in the room with. Maybe like Nora or something. And it's like, what are you guys thinking? And it's like, not sure. Yeah, I'm like, all right. I'm getting some votes or something because no one wants to say anything.
I feel like I was on the opposite end of that, where I was like, "Oh man, people are giving me a lot to work with."
Buckets, Chewy.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Chewy and the others, they kind of used me in the alliance. I was the vocal one. I was willing to put names out, and they were aware of that. They were like, "We just need to sit by." And even Chewy said that during a confessional. He's like, "I just have to sit back and let Corey name names, and we can then throw him under the bus when we need."
I mean, is that using you or just letting the things, the cards fall where they may?
Well, it depends on how far you want to take the alliance, because you can see when a teammate is like making themselves exposed and it weakens the alliance. But I think they played it out right for them. It got what they wanted.
I will say, Corey, I think had you not been in the game, I would have played a lot more like you. And that, because I kind of like to do that kind of thing. Just throw people out there, see what happens. But I had the opportunity to play once before, and I did play more like that before, and I lost. I mean, I still lost this time, but I knew I wasn't going to lose the same way by playing your game, you know? And so I was like, okay, cool. This character is already filled. I can do something different.
Nora, what was surprising for you to learn?
I think it was honestly like I feel like there was something in every episode that I was like, oh, you know, and it kind of made some more pieces fit together. Just because, you know, we couldn't be in every room. We were all separated. We could only talk to however many people at a time. And so there were a few rounds where we didn't talk to, you know, half the people that we started with. And I mean, we didn't talk to, you know, half the team at first because they were on another island. So, I mean, in the beginning, it was fun to see just like how those votes that I wasn't a part of shook out. Towards the end, it was interesting just to see, you know, how people were voting and what discussions were happening, and also just kind of confirm that like I was as on the outside as I felt like I was. You know, so just kind of, yeah, you know, it confirmed like the thoughts that I was having about how my game was panning out.
So also, we need to talk about the moment where you ask the final three who voted for you when, and everyone tells you it's only when you went out and you're like, this doesn't matter.
I want to know. The numbers don't add up, gang. Like, I know that people were, you know, voting for me and stuff, and I watched these with my husband, and let me tell you, there were some times where I was like, oh my God. Like, I just, again, and I mean, there were just conversations happening that I wasn't a part of and that I wasn't privy to. And that's also just kind of the nature of the game, right? People have alliances and either you're in or you're out. And I thought I was in at first. I thought, you know, being with Lauren was going to be, you know, a good shot. And then Lauren got voted out. And I feel like that was the big turning point for my game and my strategy. And then I got booted to the other island. And I don't think I could have recovered. I was surprised that I lasted as long as I did. I think if I didn't have immunity, I would have gone out that next voting round instead of, you know, delaying it for another round. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun though. I loved it. This was a good experience.
I was sad you got voted out, Nora.
Thank you. I thank you for not voting for me, Chewy. I appreciated all of that, all of those confessionals. Like, yeah, I was okay with it, but I just couldn't vote for Nora. So,
yeah, I didn't vote. I don't think I voted for you to leave to the other island. I thought Corey had he just told me to send him to the other island. So I was like, all right, I'll go with that. Sure. And so I didn't vote you to leave, but then I definitely didn't vote you
right?
out
I
of
thought
the
he
game.
volunteered. Come on.
Yeah.
And then you sent me.
That was
interesting.
That was one
And
of
Nora,
my favorite
for the record,
subplots.
Nora, I never did vote for you. There was all that confusion over that one episode. I was rallying because I thought you were paired up with the person that we'd eliminated the episode before, and I thought you were going to gun for me after that. But
I mean, I was gunning for you.
Well, I felt that.
Did you watch this year? I was gunning for you from the get-go. I pegged you as someone I did not want to see go far.
But I didn't end up voting for you that episode.
Okay.
Sorry, Blaine and Argo, who I lied to that episode.
No, we knew right away. I mean, it was 3 votes for it. It was me, Blaine, and Okabe.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it wasn't a mystery.
Yeah.
That was really the only shady thing. I mean, well, okay, not really, but like, that was the shadiest thing.
Since you mentioned that, I like that episode. Like, you were like, I didn't tell them my alliance, and then I just pegged your 4 people in your alliance. Like, right away, I was like, you could read you pretty good, pretty easy. I think.
Not me holding the poker cards the wrong way, being like,
I can read straight through it every time he said something.
I did have a question for Nora, though.
Okay.
Because in the background, Cora, Kuri, and I have been playing this game for the past 3 months, just talking about like what we could have done to get to Final 3 together. And one of my questions is like, what if we voted Okabe out instead of you, Nora? Who would you have dragged? Because honestly, we were going to vote you out probably. It was between you or Michelle. And in that situation that Okabe was in, who would you have dragged?
What? So if we didn't vote for Okabe and it was me.
So if you were in Okabe's place and you stayed after that vote that you got voted off, in the situation where you would have gotten voted out and your options to drag were me, Kuri, Cora, and Michelle, who would you have taken?
Ooh.
Interesting.
That's hard. I mean, I will say, like, I had been voting for Michelle, like, a lot. Sorry, I don't know. Like, I just didn't really know you that well, like, you know. And so I had been voting for. Shit, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, PG-13.
Fuck
it, don't worry.
I would have. I feel like I want to say maybe in the moment I would have said Michelle, but like. I definitely had a feeling that you had an alliance. You know, it was kind of obvious. You could see who was going into the different rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I might have chosen you, Chewy. It might have been the end of you, anyways.
Well,
is there no way out for Chewy?
I don't think there's a way out for Chewy unless Michelle pops
I don't
in.
feel as bad as for my decision.
Well, Cora,
right? Like, I mean.
What?
Well, who would you have dragged, Cora, if I just like betrayed you last second? Because I also ran this other scenario, Okabe.
Yeah.
I thought there was a moment at the very end of that deliberation period where we were alone together in the room, and I was really thinking of going like, Okabe, I think we're in a bad position here. I think Michelle, Cora, and Kuri have been running this game the whole time. They keep doing things I don't expect them to do. If I tricked you in that moment, Okabe, and we like betray Cora or Kuri or one of the other three people I was working with, I guess I don't know. Would that have tricked you, Okabe? And then Cora, who would you have dragged?
Could I go first?
Sure.
Wait, who's going first?
You.
No, me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, she wins the game, and now she thinks she can call the shots.
in that round, I for sure knew that I was the one getting voted off. So I was like, okay, I had accepted my fate. I know I was like the odd one out. Like ever since Blaine and Argo were voted out, I was like, okay, I'm on my own. I was in survival tactics. I was like, I don't know. I was like the movie Predator. I was just scouring around the forest, just pickpocketing, eating berries all by myself, covered in mud. I was like, okay, I want to get
game scenario.
as far as possible. If you would have tried to trick me, I would have been like, okay, I know he's gonna vote for me anyways. And like at the end of it all, I only dragged you just because you were the least you were like the person who I least talked to in the whole game. So I was like, okay, like the decision was horrible. Like I was standing there for like 2 minutes being like, oh my god, who do I pick? Like I was sweating.
Yeah.
As everyone knows now, I did have university work later. So I was already stressing. So, but yeah, I don't think
the emotional turmoil.
Yeah, the emotional. Oh my god, I don't think I slept that night actually.
Oh my god.
Me neither.
Commitment.
No, not because of LCS, just because I actually did have like a whole ass project to do after that.
Jeez.
Okay, that actually makes me feel slightly better, but like still bad. But yeah.
Don't
like,
worry.
okay, well, at least I didn't like emotionally torment him to like not.
No, maybe like 5%, but I still had a lot of fun.
So Cora, who would you have dragged?
Yeah.
So if it would have been Chewy, Kuri, Michelle, and Okabe in the final four. I probably would have dragged Okabe for the same reason he dragged you, just because I talked to him less. But I'm not gonna lie, like in my head I'd be like, all right, who was the one that planned to vote me out? Like who started it? But I think like because you only had 2 seconds to pick, I would have probably just picked Okabe and just stuck true to my alliance even though you voted me out.
What alliance?
What alliance, yeah.
What alliance? I love it. Well, it was there was an onion of alliances, I think, in terms
Yeah,
of
it was an
Yeah,
alliance
wait, can I ask
with an
Chewy,
alliance.
was that a alliance with me and Lauren at the beginning? Was that just some bullshit? Was that real? What we have was real.
I would say I got into a situation that I think everybody wants to be in, where I was working with a group of 3 between you and Nora. Or you, Lauren, Nora, me, right? And then I also had a thing going on with Cora and Corey. And then both groups were like, let's try to draw in Michelle for each of them. So there was like a real split, and I think Michelle and I got caught kind of in that. But then as soon as the word got out about Lauren having won twice already, we were like, no, not gonna win a third time.
Matt left you on
See,
an island.
I knew that, and I just was gonna keep that in my pocket and hope that she didn't tell anyone, and then she told people.
I think she told Michelle, and Michelle told everyone else.
Yeah.
And we're just
Literally
like,
everyone.
oh, we gotta get Lauren out.
So yeah, I think that's where it flipped for everybody. So yeah, and then after that, I really did want to keep you around more than a lot of people. I knew, Corey, I'm sorry, people knew we were close, but I knew you were a good shield for me. So I was like, there's going to be a point where Corey needs to go, but I've got Nora to fall back on here as like a little secret side thing.
Okay.
And
Happy to be
I
your
think-
meat shield.
Really? Yeah.
And I think in that situation, like I said, had Okabe gone over you, I might have been more interested in the idea of saying goodbye to Cora or Kuri, to be honest with you.
Dare.
Wow.
But I
speaking of Nora,
love
you
a
mean
betrayal.
No, he would have
if
dumped me.
Nora
He's been
were
playing
in
this
there-
game for like months after this,
Yeah.
and he's like, what could I have done? Cora,
Should
what
we
would you have
check-
done if I voted you out? Corey, what
Chewy
would you
sends
have done
me
if I voted you out?
paragraphs
Sorry,
the other
Chewy,
day
too little,
about
too
like
late.
scenarios for the drag round. And I'm like, I think so. And amazingly, I came up with one yesterday that he hadn't even figured out, and I was like, interesting.
Listen, I mean, we had 5 minutes, I think, to figure that out,
yeah,
and by
no.
then I was
If
like
that.
mentally drained.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was a long weekend.
that was yeah. No, I totally get that. Like I like poured over it was so funny, like reaching out to you guys to like ask for like coverage for confessionals and being like, okay, so it's at this. I'm like, oh, you remember, it's this conversation that you have with this person in this room at this round right before this, and you talk about this, this, and this, and you guys are like, I don't remember any of that day, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, I like Amanda Kitty's question up in the chat here.
So who do they blame for their lemon? Okay, that's a great question. But before we get to that, I want to go and talk to our new school friends, because Argo, I would say that in terms of like, if we are drawing parallels between the tribes, I think you were the Chewy of the new school tribe, because you kind of were like skating that line between Blaine and Okabe, and it seemed like you had like that strong 3 of you guys. But you also had a pretty good relationship with Kuri and Asia. So my question is like, Asia, how cognizant of were you of, like, I just want to like talk about that. Like, Asia, how much did you know? Argo, what were you thinking? Blaine, were you guys aware, you know?
I can speak on it first. I remember when Aisha got eliminated, I joined her and Kuri in a room, and I was trying to like drip feed. I wanted them to like offer it to me because I didn't want to. And Okabe, I'm so sorry about this, but I know
Don't worry.
I wanted them. I would have flipped if they would have offered to be in alliance with me, because I thought. I'm trying to. That's why I joined that room, because I was like, if they offered to me, I mean, I could be persuaded to flip, but they were just like, we don't know who to vote for, and I wanted them to offer, because I didn't want to say, hey guys, I'll flip on one of them if you guys will create an alliance and save me later. But they didn't offer that, so I was just like, I didn't want them to go to them and then I get voted off early. So I was on the line, but it just wasn't offered to me, unfortunately.
See, I kind of felt like you three were already like pretty tight, so I didn't want to say too much. But I also genuinely didn't know at that time like who I wanted to vote for. It was more so based off of who I was talking to the most. And that's kind of all I went off of. That was kind of my biggest mistake, was not having time talking to everybody.
Oh, for sure. That's because I was worried that if we merged, and the reason why I was trying to get that, because I really worried that when we merged, that it was going to get word out that me, Blaine, and Okabe was going to be always voting together, and we would have a clear-cut alliance, and we would get picked off. So I was like, maybe I need to like try to get other people on my side just in case, but it wasn't there to be offered. So I just had to just ride that out and see how far I can go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I loved that whole dynamic, because that was something I wasn't really aware of when we were actually playing the game. And it was so interesting to like discover that in the files, and also just like, what a fun subplot for like the pre-merge. It's great. So now, let's dig into Amanda's question, which was, who do you blame for your elimination? Cora, chill. And and what do you regret? Or in terms of like, who do you regret voting out? Or like, do you think that there's like one decision that you made that like, if you changed it, could have just made it?
I mean,
Salem, let's talk to you, because you were the first person.
Ooh. I feel like definitely my teammates on that first challenge voted for me, because I was completely like bumbling around. But I don't blame them for that as much as I do think they were scared of me because I'm very cool.
Truly.
But,
You are very cool.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you. Just so I didn't vote for you that time.
That's true. Yeah.
I
Okabe
think
voted
like
for Asia actually that first round.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Oh wait, that's actually something I want to ask, because this affected my vote. Were you having mic issues that round?
A little bit. I think
Yeah.
nobody could hear me for like a little while, and then I just didn't notice because I didn't hear anyone saying anything about it. So there
Yeah,
might have been some technical issues.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that, like at the end before the votes, because I think you mentioned it, or someone mentioned it. And I was like, oh damn, like Salem like could not talk, even if they could, like they were like the whole PC was screaming, so it was kind of difficult. But
yeah,
that kind of, I was like, okay, like kind of unfair to like they were muted basically. So like, yeah.
Thank you for not voting for me. I appreciate it. I was like kind of looking forward to maybe making an alliance with you because I know you're emo and I'm emo, so it would have worked well.
Oh, thank you.
Emo,
but yeah,
the emo alliance, I love it.
The emo alliance.
Sorry, I forgot. I just like forgot that I was sharing my screen and started going through the. Anyways, Asia, what about you? Who do you blame?
I kind of blame myself, honestly. I don't really blame anyone. I do feel like I should have spent more time talking to everyone on my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just got comfortable with one person, so I kept going to that person, not thinking about how that was going to affect me in the long run.
Fair. Now, yeah, Kat's right. What if we were to go with LCS rules of you can't vote for yourself? Is there anyone? Do you think there's like one ringleader that you could point to of like, yeah, they were the one that like spurred this idea?
Me?
Yeah.
See, I would have said Argo, but I didn't know that they wanted to flip. Like, I didn't know that.
Right.
I thought you wanted me out, honestly.
The twists and turns.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my read on, for what it's worth, my read on that whole situation was just that, like, at that point, once you guys were down to 5, I think y'all were ready to not vote anyone else off, and, like, y'all all were, like, actually pretty... If y'all had gone to the merge with that 5, I think it would have been a very different game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I think y'all actually were very tight. So, like, and, like, even though, you know, there was definitely, like, 2 kind of 3 thruples, I don't know, for lack of a better word, happening. Like, I think it was still a pretty... Y'all were tight.
I sometimes think we were tighter than the other team. Because, I don't know. Yeah, because at one point, like, the old school team just started to, like, devolve into, like, voting each other out and, like, some alliances and betrayals, and then, like, we were...
without any votes being cast. So, New School friends, like, what was it, like, truly just you guys were, like, starting to just go stir crazy or, like, get bored?
Old school, you mean?
Like, at
Are you
one
talking
point.
about us?
Yes, sorry, old school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got bored. I don't know. There wasn't, like, any confessionals you could use from any of us at the beginning because we didn't know anyone. We, like, I don't know. The only thing we had was Lauren had won twice, and we were like, well, guess she's next.
I think we were focusing on, like, trying to make friends. We were like,
Yeah.
who's in my alliance? Who's liking who?
We didn't have, like, the trauma to go through to bond us like the New Schoolers did.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will also say, just not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. Shout out to me for taking truly just Lauren telling Michelle that she won twice and making that a 3-episode arc. So,
Yeah,
my God.
for real.
Yeah.
It truly was.
because I was like, wow, these people did nothing in pre-merge. Okay. I mean, y'all did stuff.
It was the moment, the drama.
Yeah. So let's continue chronologically. Blaine, who do you blame? And now, having seen the season, who do you blame? Who do you think was
really
like, the person? Yeah.
Base this off
like,
of
no,
the
honestly,
episodes, Blaine.
Honestly, really coming down to it, it should have been it's on me, right, for not playing the idol. But also, I had.
Well, why? Okay.
The
why
other
didn't
thing
you play
is,
the idol?
yeah. So I didn't play it because literally no one. I had talked to. I think I was trying to play numbers, right? So I had talked to Argo, obviously. I had talked to Okabe. I know they're not voting for me. I talked to Cora, who, for sure, I thought would have said, especially because she said, no, I'll let you know if I hear like anybody mention your name, right? So I thought Cora would not tell me that if she had actually heard my name. And if I would have gotten any kind of hint that someone had said or mentioned my name at all, I would have played that thing, no question. But I thought maybe Chewy might, just because of that last round of you know, the Okabe, the torches and all that stuff. But I didn't think it was going to be enough for everyone to vote for me that round, so that's why I didn't play it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't even share. I was going back and forth because actually, what happened was I found it. If you remember, I found it the first day of recording, and I wanted you to know because I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't want people to be like, this wasn't brought up, and now all of a sudden, second day, Blaine's got an idol, so he like put one in his pocket or something.
One. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I sent you a message. I was like, hey, I think I found the idol, and I don't know. I might have. I don't know. And you're like, what is it? But yeah, I just didn't play it because I had zero hint that I was getting voted. And to be fair, no one else got zero hint I was getting voted either until last second. We're going for Blaine. Okay.
I was
And
so
that's what happened.
surprised.
Literally
I'm still
5
shocked.
seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, that
so-
could have been. That was very nearly a 3-3-3 tie.
Right. So, I mean, who can I blame? As much as I would love to beat Cora up for it, Cora really didn't lead the charge on that, and really just, Cora's playing the game. To be honest, I voted for Cora to win at the end anyways. So, yeah. So I guess if not myself, then Chewie, then Korra, but it's my own fault for not playing the thing anyways, honestly. Because I think Chewie kind of just like threw it in there. I don't really know what happened there, to be honest.
I can clarify a little bit because there's something that I don't think anybody caught on to that I had in my mind in regards to you. I think there was a conversation that we had early on in old school about if we knew any players from the other side. And I don't know where I got this info, but I think Korra
Chewie's like, I just don't like you, dude.
I heard that Korra knew you, and I had the feeling that Korra would be willing to work with you. And to me, I think you were like Korra's Corey. Like I had Corey, our close connection kind of thing. So I don't know. I felt like I didn't want to risk you being a factor in me being aligned with Korra.
So
that makes sense. So it is Korra's fault. Okay.
Like, damn it.
So I need to end friendships with Korra.
No.
And then after that, I had asked Kuri about idols and stuff. She didn't really know anything. She kind of guessed if anybody had one. It was Argo.
Yeah, okay.
And then at that point, I was like, well, we already threw Argo's name out there earlier in this deliberation in case he got whiff of it. And I knew you three were working close together, Argo, Blaine, and Okabe. And then I was like, I think this is our chance to get Blaine out, just in case Argo uses an idol on himself.
Right. And I remember in that episode, I heard somebody said, maybe if we throw Argo's name out, Blaine will play the idol for him and save him. And I was like, who the f knows that I have the idol? I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell a single person that I had it. So that being thrown out, I was like,
that was
how is that even a thing?
I was guessing idols all over the place.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Blaine never told me he had the idol, and he was like, I saw you every time we weren't playing a game. I was running around the damn island. From the beginning, I was like, right when I got on the island, that's my number one mission. I was like searching everywhere, and I was like,
and you were following me too when I was doing the vaulting pull down in that little bottom section. You were on my ass, and I even picked it up. I picked it up right in front of you, and I was like, oh shit, Argo saw that, but you didn't see it. I mean, if I was gonna tell anybody I had it, it would have been Argo and Okabe, probably.
I wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have told people. I would have been like,
right? No, I didn't think you would have. Yeah, there was like, I think the only people I wouldn't have voted for, honestly, going forward would have been probably Argo, Okabe, Korra, and Kuri. And then I found out both Korra and Kuri both voted for me. I was like, all right, I see.
Argo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, the voting was obviously very tense for mine, and obviously it's going to be Kuri because she is the one that changed. She's the only. I thought when they were tied, I really thought one person on both sides was going to flip their vote,
and it was going to just say a tie.
I thought it was going to say a tie, but I was like, I think one person on each is going to flip, and that's what I was hoping for, maybe. But like, I think the only thing, I mean, obviously that's who I would blame for my elimination. The only thing I would have changed different, if I would have known that Kuri and Chewie were friends, like in real life, then Kuri would have not made it to merge. I would have been
100%
pushing that first vote. I would have been like, we need to get her out now because she already has an alliance. She's a built-in alliance and never going to betray. And I didn't know that going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Speak.
Yeah.
Speak.
Oh, I don't know. I think about it, and I'm like, I probably would have betrayed that if I had the opportunity.
You
willing to say that if Kuri's in the room?
Yeah, I would. I think I've told her. I love games of deception, and I am especially willing to betray my friends.
I don't think you guys understand how hardcore Chewie goes.
Yeah, no. I actually, so fun behind the scenes thing is that everyone recorded I had everyone record like a test confessional. I don't think many of them even made it into the episode, but people recorded pre-game confessionals about everything, and one of the questions I asked is like, who are you afraid of on the other tribe or something like that, or like who are you just like asking about the other tribe. And I think Kuri said word for word that like she was like, yeah, Chewie and I are really good friends, but I don't know if that means that he would feel more comfortable backstabbing me, or if that means like I have an alliance with him already. So she was aware.
She knows.
Well, I don't know if information would have flown as easily.
Yeah.
To a stranger is what I mean.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, like I felt like having her was a lot beneficial for me, because I didn't talk to you three too much during the game. So I was like, all right, Kuri's gonna have to be my connection here, because you all filled up your room so quickly. I would have hopped in there and talked to you more, but there was just always like room for one more person, and I was never the first one to click in there.
Corey.
Oh, me next.
Yeah, let's chat. Let's talk about your demise.
Yeah, so with the information I know now based on the episodes, I absolutely blame Chewie. So what sucks though is that so Chewie, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did without Chewie. Like we became such good friends early on. We connected, and I think maybe I underestimated you quite a bit, Chewie, just because you were so quiet and let me do all the talking. I was like, oh, maybe he's not really playing the game as like thinking ahead, when really you were definitely a step ahead of me with the planning. Mm-hmm. And if I had realized that's my regrets going into the other part of the question, is if I'd realized and seen why you were so resistant to the Kuri ID, because like without explaining, you resisted it every time I brought it up. If I'd realized sooner what was going on, I could have maybe turned something around and gotten it to go even for you or something. But yeah, that was my big regret, is not realizing it sooner that you were playing me. But also like I don't regret like partnering with you, because we made it pretty far together. It was a great alliance.
We did great. I loved our time together.
Biatch.
Yeah, and like I said before, I would have, if you weren't there, I would have played a lot more like you.
It was fun playing with you.
Kato brings up a good point. Chewie made it far because I'm surprised Chewie made it far because he was clearly aligning with everyone, and that was kind of like you guys played the same, but Chewie kept his aligning with everyone super down low, and Corey didn't. Everyone figured it out pretty quickly.
And try to please everyone in the room, and that's why I think everyone, every time he left, we were like, yeah.
I do kind of regret voting out Blaine that first time instead of Nora, because it would have resulted in the tie, and things from there could have just gone so differently if that vote had gone that way.
I always felt like if I did play that idol, I feel like it just would have put a fat target on my back for the next round.
He already had a huge target, though.
Yeah.
Shut it.
We might have had the number.
It could change. It could change everything, though.
Who knows?
I will also say I think Chewie's aligning with everyone was a lot more obvious to us as an audience because we were seeing all of the conversations. Whereas I think in the game, Chewie did do a very good job of Chewie and Korra, I think, and that's why they made it so far. And ultimately one of them won. As I think that they were very good about aligning with people and having relations with everyone, but they were not very open about it, and in the game, you didn't know. Like, I, even as the host, was not aware. Oh, that's a great question. But I want to finish. We have two more friends to get to talk about who they are putting in their death note. Nora.
I think, I mean, so like the vote, like at Korra, settle. Yes,
Yeah, Korra.
Really but also I think just overall, I think I said this in the chat, like I done goofed not capitalizing on the Korra Nora potential for a relationship there. I feel like that was my big flaw. I could have maybe finagled my way into this trifecta, you know?
Yeah, I think the only time we actually worked together was the Corey vote.
Right.
Otherwise,
We weren't in the
wasn't.
same rooms, you know?
Yeah.
You said so fast when she said my name too during the confessionals that episode. She's like, Corey, and you're like, yeah.
I have
Everyone
been
was.
talking about you for like
It's true.
rounds. Let me tell you, Corey. I pegged you from the get-go. You're
It's
loud. You we're trying to take charge. Like that is a problem in Survivor. Like you can't have that.
I chuckled. It was great.
Can I also float the possibility, because this is something it's so interesting to me, because like I'm like a viewer and also the host. Oh my god, hi Kuri. Hello.
Hi.
So because it's so interesting to me because I'm like, hey, like I get to watch this game, but also I'm technically hosting it, so not technically, I am. But it was interesting to me because I never understood, Nora, why you didn't immediately team up with the New School tribe. And like you did eventually. I think the Underdog Alliance that happened, the four of you.
Yeah. It was hard. I mean, I feel like I wasn't really sure what had been happening, like what the conversations were. I think, looking back, I definitely should have been a little more vocal and proactive about those relationships. But I knew that, Argo and Blaine and Okabe were a thing. So I wasn't really sure if I could join or, if there was a better place for me, because I was still also talking to people from the old school team. So like, could I still lean on those? Should I put all my eggs in the school basket? Like I just had a lot of tricky things come up, I feel like, all at the same time.
Yeah.
That underdog voting had to work very hard for that.
And I think also, like, when you think of going into a situation like that, you're like, all right, I'm the fourth in this 3-person group already,
Right? I'm the first person out if they need an out. I mean, that's what I would do. So do I want to make myself that person? I'm not really sure.
What was I gonna say? Oh my god, I like had a thought, but I can't. It has lost me. It has give me the pass. What was it? Okay, never mind. Anyways, Okabe.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Talk to us. Who are you writing down in your death note?
I don't think I can blame like specifically anyone. Like my mindset, like from what I knew during the game, I was like, I can't really blame anyone. Like watching the episodes, I know like Shui mentioned my name a couple of times, but even so, like it's just I know he was mentioning my name just because it was like, okay, so like who do you vote for? There's not many people he would have voted for or wanted to vote for. So like I was one of the few. So like the chances of me getting picked out were like very high. So I guess I just like I truly was an underdog. I didn't know anyone coming to this game. I'm so surprised that I made it top 5.
Yeah.
Like that was like honestly, like I was damn sure I was like going out day 1. Then day 1 ended abruptly, as I remember, kind of. And I was like, oh fuck, wait. Mid day 2. So yeah, I don't really blame anyone. It's just I played the best game that I could.
Yeah.
With all that was going on in game and outside, like I think can't really blame anyone. I'm just proud of how I did, and I think I did a pretty good job with all things considered. Thank you, Argo.
Yeah. I remembered what I was going to say, and I think it actually relates to both you and Nora, which is that you guys just had a roller coaster of an LCS experience.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think
spicy.
both of you were like just in it, and then maybe on the outside, but then on the inside on this vote, but then maybe on the outside again, but then still and I truly going through this was like, I very much felt for both of you because I was like, damn, they are rolling with the punches.
Yeah, when Nora won that game, or I think it was a tie, I was so happy for her because okay, if it's not me, I'm glad Nora won because I know both of us have been like, just like like you said, on the outskirts.
Right. It made it really hard to like gauge, how I was doing in the game and like try and figure out my strategy. I feel like that also really like impacted because I would think I was doing well and like, knew what was going on. And now after watching this, I had no idea what was going on for a lot of the game. Right.
I think it's also interesting. One of my favorite subplots of this entire season was the island switch, sending one person to the other island, because it's just so funny to me that had so much of an impact on the game, because I truly was just like,
funny for you, EJ. Funny for you.
No, I mean, it was just interesting to me how much stock you guys put in that vote. Because for me, because I was like, oh yeah, I just need to like figure out which I need to have 5 and 5. So like I need to figure out how to switch it. I don't really want. I'll just have them vote. Whatever. And then all of a sudden I was like, huh. Like in listening back, like it's just so interesting.
Just Anson, he's toying with our lives.
I don't know if it would have had such an impact if Corey had been the one to go over.
I think you're right.
I actually fully think that if Corey had been the one to go over, he would have gone scorched earth and none of you would have survived.
I agree, and that is why I did not vote for him to go over. I was so afraid because you talk a lot, and I was like, he's going to make alliances without me over there, and I don't want that.
Stop assuming they would accept him.
True.
I was fine with it.
Okay, now I want to answer the question because it's about me. That
Wait.
Pat asked, which is which vote surprised me, and I'm actually not totally sure right now. Let me think.
Can I blame somebody for me though?
Yeah, go for it.
I blame Cora.
Honestly, Cora, I have a question for you. But this is something that I just was thinking about today, actually, when I was just like working on the episode. Were you okay? So Chewie basically very clearly says, "Hey, if we vote out Okabe, I think he's going to drag me." And in that same conversation, Cora, you said, "Okay, well, I guess we're voting Okabe." And it wasn't like an exact 1-to-1, like those weren't exactly right next to each other, but I thought it was interesting, and I'm wondering, was that a decision that you were like cognizant that you were making?
I was. I knew Okabe.
Corey.
Hi, Kuri.
Corey.
Hey.
I had a feeling Okabe wasn't. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I had a feeling Okabe wasn't gonna drag me, so he was at the top of my list to vote out first. I wasn't sure of Michelle, because I know we were like working together from the beginning, so I don't know if she would have been like, oh my god, Cora just voted me out, I'm gonna take her with me. So it was more to like save my butt. But I mean, Chewie actually just sent me one today of like, we didn't, and Michelle had an idol, and that like threw everything out. It was like, we can't vote Michelle, she's gonna be smart and use her idol right away, and she didn't. So that was the thing that scared me.
If it wasn't Chewie, I would have dragged you, Cora.
Yes. Okay.
Damn. Okay.
I figured because, I mean, you weren't going to drag Kuri because she was on your tribe, and I don't know. Yeah.
Even though Kuri, even though Kuri like voted for me like twice, I think, and like, I guess we weren't really in an alliance. I still like, at the end of it all, kind of wanted New School to win, so that also affected my decisions a bit.
Totally.
I'm also kind of shocked about how, okay, so when I was watching it, I wasn't privy to like any of the tribal councils from the New School tribe. And the fact that Kuri's, like, the people she was working with got picked off one by one, and she was just like the last one there, I was shocked that you guys thought she was immediately going to just work with all of you and not flip at all. I was like, oh, Kuri's going home. Like, she's going to go home. But, yeah.
No responses.
Yeah, I totally thought I was going to be in that line.
I don't think that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I'd say to speak on that. I don't think obviously I figured that she might have had some relationships on the other side, and so it was one of those things of we wanted to target the bigger alliance of Chewie, Korra, and I thought it was Corey and Michelle. And then instead of trying to, she might have helped us later if we could get the numbers. So it was more of trying to get the numbers, and we just never could get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. You weren't wrong about those people. That was
And so I think that was the bigger issue. We were like, why would we vote for Kuri if we know there's a dominant alliance on the other side that we need to even the numbers first, and we just could never even it.
But also, I will say, Korra, kind of against that narrative, because that was definitely what I was thinking too. Like even going into the merge, I was like, okay, so Kuri's gonna flip. What was actually kind of surprising for me watching the episodes, or I don't know, editing them, is how forgiving Kuri was of Okabe, Argo, and Blaine. Because, like, Kuri, you were I feel like you were very forgiving. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because I feel like I still liked everybody that I had worked with on the previous team, even though, like, I just had that, I watched all the people that I had aligned with get picked off, and I knew I was next in line if there wasn't that flip. But I don't know, I was like, they were still great teammates at the end of the day. They were still very strong players, so I didn't have anything against them personally. And I understood, like, the reason I was next in line is because I just didn't make that type of alliance that they needed. So I don't know. I'm kind of a no hard feeling at the end of the day kind of person, and forgive and forget.
Yeah.
I have a question for Kuri.
What's
yes.
that? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Please.
Kuri, who would you have dragged?
To be honest, and I hate to say it, but it would probably be Okabe, right? Because we had that trio that was so strong by the end.
So Chewie, you should have voted out anyone except Okabe.
Or
basically, I still need to hear from
had
Michelle.
the idol too. I couldn't have taken Michelle, right?
Well, she would have had to play it before you dragged.
Oh,
Because she can't play it after drag.
Well, then it would have been one of the two. But I have. It's been a while, so I don't remember.
EJ, talk. I see you talk.
Wait, okay, no.
I
I
guess-
want to know first, Korra, what scenario did Chewie send you?
Oh, I think it's the one he talked about with you.
Yeah, it's
We
the one
look
you
at it.
sent me at the very
Okay,
end.
thank you. Did you credit me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, he
I-
did. He did.
Oh,
EJ
all
low-key
right,
sent
never
me the
mind.
drag plan.
I will chill out. So we know, so the audience is clued in. The strategy was, I was just like, why didn't you guys all vote? You already told Michelle to vote Okabe. She was going to vote Okabe. Why didn't you all just vote Michelle anyways? Because if she plays her idol, Okabe goes. And if she doesn't play her idol, she goes. So, like, why?
Ooh.
Like, what was the? I was like, that would have been a great way to get rid of the idol. But
I think for me, it was at that point. She plays the idol. Okabe goes. From what we've heard, Okabe would have still dragged me. In that situation.
Yeah.
But in the case where she does go home, we honestly don't know who she would have dragged, and I wish she was here so she could tell us.
Yeah.
She probably
Well,
would have
Okabe,
dragged
would
me.
that have changed your decision if Michelle had played her idol, cancel out all 4 votes against her, and then you were the one to go?
Meaning that I would have dragged Michelle?
Well, just like, would that actually have changed your decision, do you think? Obviously, these are all...
Maybe. Now that I think about it, maybe, actually.
Yeah.
Because it would have been like, well, she was destined to go, so maybe I would have just finished off the job.
Some way to, like, keep some blood off your hands for that, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, it honestly would have made my decision a bit easier. It would have been like, okay, everyone voted for Michelle, so I have no no guilt. So everyone voted for Michelle, so I'm gonna drag Michelle just because, well, yeah. So yeah, maybe that was the technique. That was the should have been the strategy.
We could have made it to the end.
Also,
I can hear Chewie like steaming now.
Trust me, you should see his DMs to me. Joking, kidding. We talk about other things other than just this vote sometimes. So I do want to say also, just like in the chat, if y'all have questions, like feel free to just like send them at this point. We've kind of talked about everything that I really wanted to touch on. So, and y'all are bringing up great things
Pat's
anyways.
question?
What's up?
I'll say, can you answer Pat's question? What vote surprised you?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so I think the one that surprised me the most was actually Lauren's vote, mainly because the story that we kind of were put, because that's the other thing, is that we as moderators weren't privy to your confessionals. So we only ever heard you guys talking to other players. So we didn't even know what to believe. And we actually fully thought that Chewy, Lauren, and Nora were actually a pretty strong 3, and we thought that Chewy was going to turn on the other 3 and go with Lauren. But also the other thing I thought was that Lauren was going to actually reach out to the other side, because she had talked about that strategy so much, and I had read about that like she was talking about like talking to Blaine and all of those things. And once I heard that Blaine had the idol, I think I texted the mods. I was like, oh, tomorrow is going to be Lauren and Blaine steamrolling the competition. And then that is not what happened. But yeah, so I think Lauren was the one that surprised me the most. But I think then after that, I actually kind of knew who was going before we went to deliberation, I think. As in the weekend. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. What was everyone's favorite moment of the entire game or the whole weekend?
Can I say all of it?
Aww.
It was fun. Like, for real.
Yeah, hanging out with everyone, meeting everyone. I think that's pretty easy answer for it.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
I agree.
I think those moments, at least in my experience, where I didn't have to like
Sorry,
go
Get.
to those moments where I didn't have to talk to other people about who to vote off. Those like moments of peace that weren't like too many. Those were my favorite, I guess.
Winning the challenge. I had a goal to win a challenge.
Yeah,
That
and
made
you
my
did it.
day. It was
Your
so
I was
cousin Reba
so
McEntire
close to
is
winning that
smiling
one. That would have been my favorite part if I would have won.
Oh.
My favorite moment was that really awkward deliberation, which was edited down for everybody. But I think, what was it, like 10 minutes of us?
Yeah.
It
was a lot.
7 minutes.
It was
It was
horrible.
so long.
That was
Okay.
horrible.
You should have put some like
Loved
Jeopardy music in there.
That, honestly, you know what was the most surprising moment for me is the fact that because I remember, for one thing, I was just very stressed out the entire weekend, but also when that specific deliberation happened, I think I texted Dustin and I was like, I'm so fucking pissed right now. They're not doing anything. How do I make them do stuff? But actually,
I think we
what's
all noticed
interesting-
that.
So, well, wait, what'd you say?
I think we all, well, at least I noticed that. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
okay,
no, I
EJ
was-
is not liking this.
I was very, I feel like the energy I brought into Tribal Council was not angry, just disappointed.
Yeah, but EJ, can I ask you something?
Thanks, Dad.
What?
Yes.
What were you expecting to happen? Like,
Well, okay. So, one thing is that I was inspired to do that based off of a game, a Sequester mini. Sequester's another online reality game that I watched. And Blaine actually played, or not Blaine, sorry. And Dustin actually played in. And and towards the end of the game, they just removed the room limit. So there was no room limit. Everyone could go in. And most of the time what happened was everyone would go to separate rooms anyways. And so people would be in different rooms. And then the one game that I watched where everyone actually stayed in the same one was incredible because they were all just talking very openly about who they were going to vote. People who play Sequester are a lot more cutthroat than the people who play Animal Crossing. So that was what I learned. But I think to go back, I actually really love that deliberation now. Like, I actually think that was a very fascinating deliberation. And I think the conversation we had at Tribal Council after that was actually one of my favorite tribals of the season, because I feel like we just like really talked about the game itself and how you play that and just the real stuff with that. But yeah, I really actually, looking back now, I'm like, that was actually a really good tribal, and I was just projecting my own anxieties onto the players.
Which one was that?
It would have been interesting
Final
if you
six.
had the limit one less person.
No, it wouldn't. 'Cause
We
then
did that
That
twice.
happened when I was by myself. Remember?
Yeah,
Then you had to but then you could hear what everyone's saying. You couldn't block off just for the alliance.
True. It was, yeah. Room limits was a constant learning experience, and I honestly don't think we figured out the like golden ratio for each number. But I think that was an interesting mechanic of the game that I don't think was shown in the actual edit a lot.
Yeah, I also think it was just pure chance that everyone went into the first one. Because if someone by chance would have gone to the second one or something, I think that wouldn't have happened.
I agree.
There wasn't room limits, I probably would have told Blaine that somebody was coming after him, but his room was
wait.
full.
Yeah, that's
That's
I
why I got
swear.
Sure.
Oh my god.
That's what that. To be fair, Cora has kept that same narrative since the end, because she was like, "I tried to get into your room, but the room was full, so I couldn't get in to tell you." There was
also,
enough time left.
Every deliberation, is time limited. All of the conversation about you getting voted out happened in like the last 5 seconds of deliberation.
Right.
Like that
was
wasn't
on
me
purpose.
pulling some
I
editing
planned it.
magic. Like all of that, like
shocking vote.
Also, I will say Blaine gave me nothing when we were in a room together, and I like had no idea where his head was at. So I wasn't sure if I could actually trust him or not.
I
right,
feel like we were both on the same.
Yeah,
the same
we both
page,
didn't
though,
give
'cause it was
anything.
right.
Yeah, but I didn't have anything to give you either.
Yeah.
So like no one had mentioned you to me, and I wasn't about to vote for you, so I was like, well, I haven't heard your name, and you said you hadn't heard
agree.
mine, so.
Yeah. But Cora could have not voted Blaine. But actually, unless she had voted for Nora, which I don't think, Cora, I don't think you were even aware in that,
No,
that Nora
had
was an option.
no
sorry.
idea. Blaine
Unless
was the
she
only
would've,
name I
think,
heard. So.
Blaine would have still gone home
Yeah.
because it was 5. Blaine got voted out with 5 votes, and the next one was Nora with 3, and then Kuri got 1 vote.
With Kuri's sneaky exit, I'm gonna thank you all as well, and I'm gonna sneak out. EJ, thank you for the experience, and thanks.
Do
guys.
you
Bye.
Do you mind sticking around for just a hot second, because actually we are going to start to wrap up, and I want to announce the winner of the audience poll.
Oh.
Oh,
So, any last questions? I think we can take it to the Discord. Like my EJ Plays Discord. We have a channel for LCS. But I would like to announce who has won the poll, the audience poll, which I stopped accepting responses right before the premiere of the finale. And I have to say, it went all over the place throughout the week. But in 4th place, with 14.2% of the vote, we had Okabe.
Ooh,
Yay!
Yeah,
nice.
okay.
nice.
In
Yay.
3rd place,
Good job, Okabe.
in 3rd
Thank
place
you.
with 18.3% of the vote, we had Chewy.
Oh.
Nice.
And
Just behind Okabe again.
in 2nd place, with 19.8% of the vote, we had Cora.
Oh.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank
2nd place. Also, can we just say 2nd place in the audience and winning the season doesn't happen a lot.
No.
And last, in 1st place with 24.4% of the vote, almost a full 5 percentage points above 2nd place. Congratulations, Blaine.
Hey!
Oh.
Let's go. Get wrecked, Cora.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, congratulations.
Mr.
Thank you.
Congeniality.
I knew it. I knew it.
Everyone loves Blaine.
I knew it going
Well,
in. I was like,
that's not
Blaine's going to
true.
be the person that everyone votes for, and I cannot wait to crush their hopes and dreams when he gets voted out. And I did.
Hey, I
But-
voted for Blaine
Oh.
Yeah.
Aw.
to leave.
Wait, yeah, to leave.
Well, everyone, I think we can call it a night now. I think, we've been talking about this game for 3 months, so we can move it
Mhm.
into the Discord now. But congratulations to Cora again for a well-deserved win.
Yay.
Thank you.
If you want to
Yay.
donate to the
That's-
charity fund, I haven't taken anything out, so feel free to go ahead and donate to that, and keep an eye out for the announcement of the premiere date for the next pre-recorded season, which I'll only tell you is recording next weekend. So
Whoa.
I'm
No
so
vacations
ready.
for you.
stay tuned for more details about that. It's going to be very fun. I'm giving myself such a long break of 5 whole days.
Oh my
and
god.
it's going to be great.
Hey,
Repeat that
thanks,
mantra to
EJ. Thanks
yourself.
for having us and putting
you.
this all
Thanks,
together.
EJ.
You put in
Yeah.
way too many hours
Yeah,
for sure.
EJ.
You put so much
You did
effort in.
amazing.
Thank you.
And I know
Thank
it didn't
you,
like
guys.
run the way you wanted to, and we were working out kinks and stuff, but it didn't feel like that on our side. Like
I
it felt
appreciate
pretty
that. I appreciate
controlled.
It just felt fun. It was great.
And every
It
single
really
episode
was
has been
fun.
amazing.
It was the most
Absolutely.
stressful 48 hours of my life, but I appreciate that it didn't seem like that.
I had a blast.
Not to
Right.
mention all my files getting corrupted and you having to deal with me being an absolute pain in the ass over the last. I don't know
can we just
how
talk
long
about the
after
fact that everyone else's files, the biggest file I had, I think, was like a 2 gigabyte file, and every single one of Blaine's files was like 48 gigabytes. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Blaine.
I was like, this is Animal
Serious
Crossing.
streamer.
4K.
Yeah, it's recording in 4K.
I was serious.
I
I
don't
was
know
like,
what's
what?
going on.
I was like, 4K, like why 4K? What the fuck? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like,
On the
it's about to be.
Switch.
I was
Blaine
like,
said
I'm uploading
quality.
to the Google Drive, and it's gonna take 38 days.
Yeah.
So you'll get that.
Truly, I had to
A
ask
little
him like
bit.
2 days in advance so that I could actually have time to incorporate it into the episode. It was ridiculous. Also,
National Day.
I'll be streaming this week. I'll be streaming this week still because I don't know actually how to take a break. I just won't be editing anything with LCS. So, all right, everyone, thank you guys so much to the audience. Thank you so much to the moderators. Thank you so much to the players. Let's wrap it up, and I'll see y'all later, audience. Goodbye.
Hey y'all.
Bye.
Bye.